Good morning, students. This video is for class 4 science, and the chapter we are discussing is air. Now, today's topic of discussion will be the properties of air. What are the properties of air? Today we will discuss. Number 1, air occupies space. Air occupies space. So, because the particles of air are very loosely packed, they do not have any intermolecular attraction, the particles are not closely packed, they are very far away from each other. That is why air has the ability to fly in any direction. And wherever there is empty spaces, that empty space is occupied by air. This is the property of air. So, this property can be easily observed when you blow air in a flat balloon. You take a balloon and you blow air in it. It inflates and becomes big in size. This is because air occupies the space available inside the balloon and gives it a shape. So you will see that when you blow air inside the balloon, you will see the size of the balloon will become big in size. Similarly, when air is blown into a flat tire, swimming tube and football, they become inflated and change their shape. That means they become big. Inflated means they become big in size and they change their shape. This is how we can say that air occupies space. So the empty space, whatever it was filled by air. When you blow air in balloon, when you blow air in tire or tubes or footballs, you will see the size becomes big in size. The size of the football or the object become big in size. This tells us that the space is occupied by air. The next is air has weight. How will you know that air has weight? Let me give you one very simple example that you might find in your book also or somewhere else. You take a new football, where you go to the sports shop and you buy a new football. Now weigh that football in a weighing machine. Measure that weight. After that, you blow air in that football and again measure the weight of the football. You will see the weight of the football increases. This tells you that air has weight. Maybe the weight is very less, but then air has weight. This can be easily observed by comparing the weights of an inflated object and a deflated object. Inflated object means an object in which air is filled with, and deflated where air is not there. For example, a balloon with air in it is always heavier than a balloon without air. This is because air has weight and thus it makes the inflated object heavier. So as I have told you, you take a new football, weigh the weight of the object, football, measure it, keep the measurement aside. Now fill air in it, weigh the same football, you will find the weight of the football filled with air will increase. This tells you that air has weight in it. The next is air expands on heating. When air gets heated up, the air particles spread out and starts moving faster in all directions. In this way, air expands and fills a larger space. So when you heat, suppose a particular area, suppose you take this area where I am standing. If you apply heat in this area, the particles of air will become big in size and they will spread here and there. This tells you that air expands when you apply heat. Because when it applies heat, it becomes big in size, it becomes lighter in weight, and it flies here and there. The next is air supports burning. You can try this. I'll tell you one example. Oxygen, I have told you earlier also, oxygen helps you to burn things. Now suppose if you light a candle, after that you cover that candle with a glass, you will see after some time the candle will lit off, it will go off. Why? Because all the oxygen present inside that glass, once it is being used up, when there is no oxygen left, the flame of the candle will lit off, it will go off. This tells you that oxygen helps you in burning. Now once you remove that, it will not fire up again, but you have to lit it and you see, because you keep a normal candle, you take two candle, keep a normal candle without covering it, and one candle by covering it with glass. You will see after some time the candle that is covered by glass, it will go off, and the candle that is left alone will continue burning. This tells you that oxygen helps you in burning. So these are the four properties, that is air occupies space, air has weight, air expands on heating, and air supports burning. So these four properties, if you move on to the next pages, the page number 64 and 65, they have given you examples. Activity that you can conduct in the house, and you can know the different properties of air. Whatever example I have given, it is the same thing that they have done, shown in the activity. So children, please read these properties, and if you can, you can conduct, you can perform those activities also, so that you can know about the properties of air. So children, for today up to this much. Thank you, class.